over.
And good morning and welcome to the WSJM Morning Show video live stream for one of my favorite days of the week. Thursday.
I thought you meant Lorraine Day.
Well, and Lorraine Day. Lorraine Day, one of my favorite days of the week. Lorraine Day. I get it. Okay, yeah. There was a joke there. No, Lorraine Day is with the mighty Midwest Family Marketing and Media. I put the mighty in there, and it's throwing me a little bit.
It.
The mighty Midwest Marketing and Media.
Yes.
We are the 5M group.
Yes, I love it.
Lorraine Day is with Midwest Family Marketing and Media, and so I've committed my New Year's resolution for 2025 is to bring visibility to more of the Midwest Family Marketing and Media team. And so I started at the top.
Woohoo!
I brought Lorraine in. And so I asked Lorraine to come in to talk a little bit about herself, about her role here, and because you're part of the Midwest family, we get to have fun. We get to have a lot of fun on the air, and we can talk about anything and everything that's on our minds.
Love it.
Good?
Yes.
Okay. RFK Jr., he's up for HHS in the Trump administration. He has credit card debt. So I want to talk about that. Okay. Well, I mean, it's not, relatively speaking for him, I mean, he's a Kennedy.
Right.
So he's got some money. His credit cards are like $1.2 million.
Oh my God.
That's a lot of debt on a credit card.
Wow.
Is he making it? Well, anyway, so we'll talk about that.
Makes you wonder.
Yeah, we'll talk about the James Beard Awards, where the nominations are out there, and there are 10 places in Michigan. If you're familiar with culinary arts at all, James Beard is like the pinnacle of where you want to be as far as food service. So we'll talk about that and talk about family as well. Mm-hmm. You have a lot to talk about with regards to stuff I see on Facebook of you. So I went through and I scrolled your Facebook to say, what can I ask Lorraine about? Oh, look at this. Oh, look at this.
There's gold in there. Yeah.
Anyway, so if you have any questions or any thoughts, just put them into the video live stream. We have an active group of folks on the video live stream each day, and so we'll look for that. It's 7:02. It's the WSJM Morning Show. Lorraine, give us a road report. Where'd you come from?
I came from South St. Joe.
South St. Joe.
And the roads are definitely covered.
Okay.
I would say give yourself extra time. Slick in spots. Not terrible.
Okay.
Most of the drivers were going very slow, which is good.
Okay, good. They're listening. Yeah. They're listening.
There was one semi driver on Niles Avenue who was not going slow, but everybody else was being really good.
I wonder to myself sometimes, are tractor trailer vehicles, do they somehow have some sort of different gravity force?
Oh, I think that they think they do.
They think they do.
ICE does not care how big or heavy you are.
It doesn't. No. It really doesn't.
No.
And in fact, I don't know if you heard this morning, but I had to actually blow through a stoplight.
I did hear that.
Yeah. It was over here at Colfax and Niles, and the light. You know, I'm at the point of no return, and all of a sudden the light started turning. I'm like, I can't stop.
No.
Maybe I'm going too fast, but I can't stop. And I know if I try to stop.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
But there was nobody there.
Yeah.
But if there was, you would honk your horn and say, sorry, or flash your lights. Sorry, guys. Coming through.
I'm coming through. All right. It's the WSJM Morning Show. My guest again this morning is Lorraine Day. She's with Midwest Family Marketing and Media, and we're going to learn more about her role, and her thoughts on anything that we talk about today. So strap in, beware. Be ready.
Beware. Lots of energy in here.
Yeah, no, it's because. Are you a morning person?
Yes, very much.
I love that answer.
I drink decaf in the morning because.
Oh my gosh.
Caffeinated coffee is too much.
You're on decaf?
Yeah.
This is what decaf does to you? I can't imagine what regular coffee would do.
Oh yeah, look out.
All right. News coming up in just a moment right here on the WSJM Morning Show.
The storm could be the strongest to hit in more than a century. Dave Packer, ABC News.
Struggling with back taxes or unfiled returns? Owe the IRS $10,000 or more? With the IRS ramping up enforcement, taxpayers across the country are turning to tax relief helpers. Call 800-885-0622 now. End IRS stress today. Stop collection efforts, wage garnishments, and sleepless nights. Tax relief helpers can help you or your business settle your tax debt quickly and affordably. Call the Tax Relief Helpers hotline at 800-885-0622. That's 800-885-0622. Start your relief today.
WSJM News now. Team coverage from the WSJM newsroom on News Talk Sports 94.9 WSJM.
It's 7:05. It's the WSJM Morning Show. Good morning. I'm Ken Lundberg. Thursday. Welcome to Thursday, January 23rd. One of the best days of the week is Thursday. And we have a special guest in studio that we'll be talking with this hour. It's Lorraine Day. Many of you, if you have met Lorraine, you know. She is on fire already this morning. She starts her day with decaf, and I can see why. Because you are a ball of energy.
Yes.
Good morning.
Good morning.
You're not nervous, right?
No.
Okay, good.
Should I be?
No. Well,
Okay, good.
well, maybe. Like I said, I perused your Facebook just to see what I should be asking you about. No, I'm just kidding. So we'll be talking with Lorraine Day in a few minutes. We'll let her introduce herself, and she'll be my co-host this hour, so it'll be fun. It's part of my commitment this year, my New Year's resolution to bring visibility to more of the people at Midwest Family Marketing and Media. And so we'll start that interview. It's already going on the video live stream, so we'll start that in earnest here in just a few moments after we get weather and news. The temperature outside right now, we're looking at 25 degrees in Benton Harbor, 26 in St. Joseph, 26 in South Haven. It's 20 degrees in Dowagiac. We'll look at closures in a minute, but the feels like is probably in the mid-teens. So the roads... Lorraine, you want to give us a quick road report? You came from South St. Joe.
Yes, with our big heat wave. It doesn't feel like death, like you said earlier. It doesn't feel like
doesn't feel like instant death when you get out there. Yeah, it's much nicer.
But the roads are covered. It is actively snowing. It is slippery. So please give yourself extra time. And ice doesn't care how big you are.
Ice doesn't care how meaty your tires are.
Nope.
Once you break traction, it's kind of gone.
Yep.
All right, so we have a number of closings to talk about. We'll roll through those really quick. Let me give you a weather forecast first for today. Mostly cloudy. We're still under a winter weather advisory, and so you can expect that snow to continue. Where the bands of snow hit, we could get about a 1 to 3 inch accumulation today. So 1 to 3 inches of snow possible today under the snow bands. High around 25 degrees today. Balmy. It's beautiful out there. Northwest winds 10 to 20 miles per hour. Ooh, it's cooling it down a little bit. Tonight's forecast, mostly cloudy. A 30% chance of lake effect snow continuing this evening. Lake effect, a low around 7. And west winds 5 to 10 miles per hour. Friday's forecast, we're going to see the sunshine a little bit. Partly sunny skies are expected. A chance of snow, a high around 20, and southwest winds 5 to 15. Still looking at getting up to 32 degrees on Saturday.
I can't wait.
What do we do when it's 32 degrees outside? Is that our opportunity to battle the ice? What do? You want to go outside? Are you going to get outside?
Maybe unzip the parka a little bit.
You've got a dog.
Yes.
How's your dog been doing with the weather?
Oh, God bless him. He it hurts, and I bought him little shoes.
Oh,
he thinks he's
do they
being
work?
tortured. Well, they work to protect his feet, but
Okay.
he refuses to walk
Yeah.
in the shoes, and so. I did let him run around a little bit, and he shed his coat and his one shoe. So it's in the woods somewhere.
Oh my gosh.
I'll find it later.
That's expensive.
Yeah.
That's fun.
Yeah.
I had a Bernese mountain dog at some point, and I tried to get the shoes. I must have bought the wrong size, because the instant I put them on, she flung them off.
Oh,
just
yep.
like shook the paw until it went away. So all the dogs since have been like just barefoot out there, and they last about 2 seconds.
Oh yeah. I mean, he lifts up the little paws, and I wipe him off with. It's like, you have to go potty.
Closures today, brought to you by Midwest Family of Southwest Michigan. Fenville Public Schools are closed. Senior Services of Van Buren County, South Haven Public Schools closed today. So those are it looks like schools are back at it today. And so be careful of the school kids out there. And if you're a parent and you left them at the bus stop, hope you gave them something warm to hold on to. It's 7:09. We've got news from the WSJM newsroom to cover, and then we'll get to our interview. A large employer in the area is setting up a new foundation to help local nonprofit groups. American Electric Power, the owner of the Cook Nuclear Power Plant, is shifting money to boost nonprofit investment in Southwest Michigan. The Cook plant's chief nuclear officer, Kelly Furneaux, was on the WSJM morning show yesterday, where she announced they're about to launch what they're calling the Cook Foundation. It's a pool of money available to local nonprofits. That's the idea, where the funding decisions are controlled by community members here
We are going to be starting to communicate how to apply for those funds. It's for nonprofit organizations. So that's something I'm pretty excited to support here from the Cook plant because, our community is very important to us. That's where we all live. That's where we work. And it used to be more controlled by AEP overall, but those funds have been sent down to the Cook plant now. And so I'm pretty excited to have a lot more control.
Furneaux says that more information will be released soon on how the new Cook Foundation will operate. She says it makes sense to allow more local control as Cook plant staff are here in the community and they are in the best position to understand local needs. Furneaux says that the AEP Foundation pools donations from the community, allowing a greater impact for even the smallest of contributions. She tells local nonprofits to keep their eyes and ears open for new opportunities to receive support from the Cook Foundation. That's coming up, and we'll announce it here on WSJM. Michigan Secretary of State Jocelyn Benson has thrown her hat into the ring in the run for governor. The Democrat made the announcement yesterday and shared a campaign video on social media. She says she knows what Michigan residents go through each and every day, and she wants to help.
I grew up in a middle-class family. Student loans helped pay for college. Waiting tables helped pay the bills. When my husband Ryan deployed to Afghanistan, I brought together Michigan's military families to support our service members and each other. I know the struggles Michigan families face to find the time and the money to get by.
Benson said she believes in the state's future because Michigan created the middle class, put the world on wheels, and never backs down from a fight. Prior to being elected for Secretary of State, Benson was the dean of Wayne State Law School. She joins a race for governor that also includes Republican State Senator Eric Nesbitt from our area and independent Detroit Mayor Mike Duggan. Benson will also be in Benton Harbor next month as a keynote speaker at the 2025 Michigan Black Summit. It is still dry January for many people taking a break from booze, but now there are new warnings about the negative health effects from alcohol, and some Michigan winemakers are worried that could chill sales. Beer and wine sales usually dip after the holidays, and Mike Lang with Mobby Sparkling Wines in Suttons Bay says there's a lot of evidence that wine actually has positive health benefits, and the best approach for wine consumers year-round is to not overdo it.
We really think that there's a place for bubbly, for wine. There has been for centuries. And as anything, we think, consumption in moderation.
Lang says for those looking to enjoy the taste of wine without the buzz, Mobby has started selling a new non-alcoholic brut rosé called Safe Sex. A lot of other companies are doing the same thing with the non-alcoholic beverages. Lang says it's selling well. The Centers for Disease Control and Prevention announced earlier this month some studies show drinking 3 or more alcoholic drinks per day increases the risk of stomach and pancreatic cancers. You ever try those non-alcoholic beverages?
I accidentally
like the non-beer
did.
beer. Oh, you accidentally did.
I accidentally did.
Too much of the regular stuff. You got a non-alcoholic
I
one?
didn't mean to. I went to what's it called? A Colts game.
Oh.
And I saw Bud Zero or something like, 0 calories, awesome. And I'm drinking it and I'm like, well, this is kind of boring. I read it and I was like, oh man.
That's awesome. Did it have the same taste as like a beer?
Tasted really good. Yeah.
Okay.
I mean, I'm not really a Bud drinker all the time, but for what it was, it was good.
Cost comparison with a regular.
It was less expensive.
Okay.
Like $3 less expensive
Really?
for a can.
Okay.
So I was like, oh, this is awesome, but I didn't know why.
Yeah, I have found, and recently on our holiday travels, we found that a lot of the non-alcoholic beverages, they're charging the same thing as the alcohol beverages. So, yeah, but they taste good, and
they do taste good.
They're fancy.
Yeah.
You get to lift your finger as you drink or whatever, whatever you want to do. All right, it's 7:14. It's the WSJM Morning Show. The voice you hear, in addition to mine, I'm Ken Lundberg, is Lorraine Day. She's with Midwest Family Marketing and Media, and she's our special guest this morning. So we'll start the interview with her right now on the video live stream. So you want to catch that? It's on YouTube. It's on Facebook. Just go to your social media platform of choice, type in WSJM, and you can see our live video stream there. We'll continue the interview on the radio here as well. After a couple of things, we've got Dave Wolf with sports, Always Learning with Barry and Risa, and a couple other things. It's right here on the WSJM Morning Show.
Another day, another Detroit.
Good job. Yes.
Good job.
We're, and this is the video live stream portion.
Yes. Hi, everybody.
See, I knew this was going to be fun.
It is fun.
I knew this was going to be fun. So for those who don't know you, and good morning, let's see, good morning, Bill. Good morning, Diane. On our video live stream, we've got some folks. I know Stephanie's out there. Good morning, Stephanie.
Hi, Stephanie.
And for those who don't know, tell us a little bit about Lorraine Day. Give us your origin story. If you think
My
about Marvel
origin
comic
story.
books. Yeah.
Oh, wow. Well, my dad was a minister in Indiana. So I grew up all over in the church
Wow.
in Indiana. And then when
Okay.
he retired, well, I went to college and all that good stuff while he was still working. But I started working in Benton Harbor back in 98
Okay.
in welfare reform
Okay.
with what's now called Michigan Works. We were Work First at the time. So I worked there back in 98 for
Okay.
several years. And I went and sold insurance for a while and in Dowagiac. And then I came back to Michigan Works.
Yeah.
And then I was volunteering. I've been a volunteer with United Way for many, many years.
Okay.
And I was volunteering to help campaigns in the community. And Dave Deutsch, our president here,
Yeah.
was the campaign manager. I forget I don't think that was really his title, but it was something like that.
Yeah.
And he called me and he said, I love how you talk to businesses. I think you should be working for me. And I laughed.
Wow.
And I said, selling radio? I don't think so. I don't think that's for me.
You laughed in his face, said, opportunity? No.
And he's like, well, just talk to me. I was like, okay, I'll talk to you. Absolutely. It's always good to have those connections
Yeah.
and talk to people. I showed up and he had a full interview and personality profiles and all these things. And I was like, oh, we were just talking.
So you got the personality assessment on that first time you were here.
2 of them.
2 of them?
2 of them. Yes.
Or were you just doodling on the first one?
I was like, are you serious?
That's funny.
Yeah, but we had a great chat and I wasn't super convinced
Okay.
at first because it's just such a shift. I was used to giving money away.
Yeah.
In the nonprofit world. That's what I understood. And then
Yeah.
to ask for money, that was a huge paradigm shift.
Yeah.
But he encouraged me to try. And here I am 14 years later.
Yeah.
I'm in my 14th year right now, loving it. And I get to use my job to still serve the community.
Yeah.
I work with a lot of nonprofits.
Yeah.
I love it.
Yeah.
Absolutely love it.
You are probably what's the right term? The best. Well, I know you're the best seller here, but I'm thinking something fancier, like the most prolific seller of our products at Midwest Family Marketing and Media.
Well, thank
So
you.
thank you. Thank you for that. We appreciate it. And so describe your role in business development. What do you do?
Well, I get to help businesses sell stuff.
Okay.
Whatever that stuff is. Maybe it is selling products, maybe it's selling services. I also help them recruit employees. I do that quite often, actually,
okay.
Across all industries, nonprofit, manufacturing, healthcare, sales. I help them find the right talent. And I love it. It's great. I get to serve the community, which is our number one core standard, which aligns with me.
Yeah.
Serve the community. Yes, I volunteer, but I also like to use my job to help serve the community by helping these companies.
Yeah.
And it's a win-win-win for everybody.
Talk a little bit about your volunteerism. What are you involved in? What do you like to do?
Over the years, I've done quite a bit.
Yeah.
Something consistent has been with United Way.
Right.
So I volunteer. And so this year I'm one of the community members that reviews applications for the money,
Okay.
for programmatic money. And
Yeah.
so this year I'm on the mental health committee. So, which is what my master's degree is in. So that's cool.
Yeah.
Yeah. So it aligns really well.
So let's jump around just a little bit. So where in Indiana were you raised?
Well, all over. I was born in Indianapolis.
Okay.
And the last time I lived with my parents, we were
Hence
in
why you were
South
at a
Bend.
Colts game.
Right. Yeah, exactly.
All right.
I went to some college in Indianapolis also. I was born there. So yeah, I have family right around there. It's
Okay.
great. Yeah.
Okay. So you're born in Indianapolis. Where else in
Oh
Indiana
my
have you
gosh.
lived?
Fort Wayne, Muncie, Culver was the longest.
Okay.
South Bend. I graduated from Riley in
Okay.
South Bend. Let's see, Argus. It's a nice little town next to Culver. I
Wow.
lived there for a while. So lots of different places.
Yeah.
Just
Okay.
following his appointments with the church.
And then you went to higher education and you achieved your bachelor's and your master's.
Yes. Mhm.
So what were you focused on for your bachelor's and master's?
Well, I thought that I was going to have my own family practice, psychology.
Okay.
So I went that route. and I got my master's
I feel like I'm being
degree.
analyzed all of a sudden.
Oh no, that's been happening for years, Ken.
oh, not all of a sudden.
Not all of a sudden.
Okay, good point. Okay.
No, I got my master's degree in counseling and human services. I went the mental health track.
Yeah.
So that program out of Indiana University, you can take it for mental health or for school counseling. And I chose the mental health route because that's what I thought I was going to do. And then life kind of
happened. Yeah.
Yeah. And I did all of the education. I never took the test because we started having our family.
Mm-hmm.
We were a little surprised by our first one. So,
we're on the radio, right?
I know.
Okay.
I'll keep it clean.
All right.
We were surprised
No.
by her. And then we just
That's great.
kept having more kids. And I never went back to take the test because I started working and fell in love with what I was doing.
Yeah.
And it's like, okay, well, I'm actually doing what I want to do and I'm serving. And so that still fills that passion cup in my heart to serve. And I'm actually making more money. So I was like, why? Why go back?
Best of all worlds. Do you feel like your training in that area helps you in what you do today?
Absolutely. Yeah.
How so?
I'm a talker and it taught me to be quiet and listen.
Oh,
Listen more.
okay.
And so, which I love to listen. I love to listen to what's going on, but it also helped me in many ways. But one of those ways is connecting dots. I love to connect dots and refer people and network and say, oh my gosh, you need this. I know who can help you with this. This person could help you. And I just love doing that in the community.
Yeah. Active listening is a skill.
Mm-hmm.
And you're good at it.
Thank you.
I know you're good at it. I try to be good at it. And I share with my children, I don't know if you've done this, the thing about, okay, are you listening to respond or are you listening to understand?
Are you waiting to respond?
Right.
Because you're not really listening.
Yeah,
you're
not
waiting for a
listening.
pause.
Yeah,
Right.
exactly. You're just listening for that pause so that you can blurt out whatever it is you want to say, not having heard anything. Is that a challenge? Does that become a challenge?
Well, of course, with my husband.
Talk about your family. Who's in your family?
My husband, Robert. He's a writer.
Okay.
And then we have 3 awesome kids. I call them my shorties, but the joke's on me because they're taller than me.
Oh, you call them what'd you drop?
Nothing. I'm just
Are you
trying
okay?
to stretch my legs out.
Oh, okay.
I got my legs caught.
Oh, okay.
But my oldest is Aubrey, and
Okay.
she is a biochemist. She has her biochemistry degree, but she is an R&D chemist for Liebermuth in South Bend, which I had never heard of.
What is that?
Right?
Yeah.
They are an essential oils company. She calls it a fragrance. I can't say it. Fragrance house.
Okay.
And so she's the R&D chemist.
Wow.
And so she gets to work with essential oils. And so now sometimes I don't get this right, but this is my understanding of what she does.
All right.
Is she's in R&D. She's got this really cool, sweet lab. She's got her own little lab coat with her
Oh
name
my
on it.
gosh, how fun.
And I know. And they will, the sales department or other chemistry people will come to her and say, hey, we have a client that wants to have a candle or a lotion that smells like this from Bath and Body. We want you to recreate that. So she does something really cool and she analyzes all of the parts and pieces in that product. And she can dial down into the fragrance notes and all the chemistry stuff and say, okay, it's this much of this and this much of this and this much of this to go recreate it. Now, I think I'm right. I might be wrong. But I think I'm right because she says it and I don't understand half the words she says.
Yeah.
But,
what a fascinating occupation to have.
Right. And she also does some modeling.
Okay.
And so she does modeling mostly in Chicago, sometimes in New York, but that's really taken a back seat.
Wow.
As she pursues her career.
Okay.
So
modeling for like clothing and that kind of thing?
Lots of beauty. I shouldn't say lots, but some beauty, editorial things. So she's super tall.
Yeah.
And so they wanted her for what's it called? Runway.
Okay.
Which is a little bit tall for the industry. And so they're doing more beauty work with
What's
her.
the ideal height for a runway model?
Like 5'9", 5'10".
Yeah, just my height.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
I was on the runway once.
like
Did you know that?
I did not.
I was in the it was called the KW3 Bridal Showcase in Wenatchee, Washington, and somebody didn't show up, I think. And so I had to put on a tuxedo. It fit, and they walked me through the thing. That was my career in modeling.
Did you do a little twirl?
I did a twirl.
Yes.
I did a twirl, and I did not get paid for it, and I did not get invited back. So I think I did well. I think I did very well. We're talking with Lorraine Day. She's with business development here at Midwest Family Marketing and Media. Again, it's part of my commitment to bring visibility to the people who make this operation work and just give you an opportunity to meet some of the people that you might meet in the community, whether it's through business or through some of the community efforts, United Way, for instance, in Lorraine's case, to just have you meet each other and start a conversation. So if you have any questions or any thoughts, just let us know. Let's see. Bill says good morning. And Stephanie says good morning, Ken Lundberg and Lorraine Day White.
Yes. Hi.
Yeah, look at that. And then Bill says good morning, Stephanie. There you go. We get a lot of good mornings. It's like
That's
the Good
awesome.
Morning Club.
I love it.
I think we should call them the Good Morning Club.
I think we should. That's
We
a
could
great
do stuff.
idea. We can all have coffee together.
I like that.
Decaf.
I like that. Do you so do you like decaf or do you tolerate it?
I don't taste a difference.
Okay.
My doctor said I was drinking too much of the caffeinated stuff.
Yeah.
And, like my heart was
Oh,
going like she like really said dial it back. So I was like, well, I'll switch to decaf and see. And I feel great.
that's good.
Yeah,
That's
I feel
good.
much better.
I'm glad it works for you. Decaf coffee is still a mystery to me.
Yeah?
I don't
About
understand.
why?
I don't understand how they do it. No, not really the why. I get the
okay.
why. People who don't want the jitters or whatever.
Yeah.
But I don't understand the how, because you can buy decaf beans. What have they done to the poor coffee bean to make it decaf?
My husband was just researching this. He's like the most curious person I've ever met. So he's always researching things, which I love, because then he tells me.
Okay.
And I don't have to go do it. He just tells me like the cliff notes.
Yes.
And so there is I think I'm right, a Swedish press, water press or something.
Okay.
Forte Coffee. He bought some beans from them and
Yeah,
they
yeah.
use that. So he went looking who locally does this whatever process, because it's supposed to be healthier and better and not toxic for you.
Okay.
And so Forte, shout out. Good
Yeah.
job, Brian.
Forte.
Yeah. they sell it there.
Okay.
Yeah.
And so what do? They just, it's a method of the process?
Oh, we've hit the limit of my education.
Okay, that's
and
it.
knowledge.
Let me Google that for you and we'll get back to you.
Yes.
All right. No, that's good. And then so one last thing on your daughter. She has the occupation to really devise, okay, I smell this, I want to replicate this.
Yes.
I think some of her work in her spare time, if it isn't already, should be to like do prank smells.
Oh, that's a great idea.
Right? Like here's Ude Rottweiler or something like that.
Oh my gosh, she actually had something like that. She told me.
Oh, really?
I don't know. I won't say any names because I don't want it to break any confidentiality.
All right. Yeah, don't
But
do that.
there was somebody that wanted the scent of wet dog. and there was a really good reason.
Come to my house.
It was a good reason. It was like an air purifying or something. So like
Yeah.
we can even get the smell of wet dog out of the air.
Wow.
And so she said she had all these samples of dog hair. And so she's like, it was so gross. But she did it.
That's fun.
Yeah.
See, she could do wet dog. She could do dog that had an accident.
Ew.
That'd be a good one.
That's
You could have a dairy pasture after a day of bad feed. That'd be a good one. And you sell them as candles, and all the college people will give them to each other as gifts. It'd be funny, right? Yeah, just prank
like
gifts.
Spencer's gifts or something. It's kind of like the Jelly Bellies.
Right.
With the different flavors with the prank
puke
flavors.
and the booger and stuff like that.
Yes, so gross.
I think we just developed trademark, patent. We just did that.
I love it.
All right. We're continuing our conversation with Lorraine Day White. Do you prefer Lorraine Day White?
I do the white just because that's what the kids' names are.
Okay.
And so I just professionally I just use Day.
Okay.
But all the kids' friends call me Mrs. White because
Really?
that's the kid's name. Yeah.
Wow.
I was just obstinate when we got married. I didn't take my husband's name. I was like, you can take my name, but I'm not taking yours.
I was just obstinate. I was being stubborn.
I was. It's the truth. He almost took my name.
Really?
We were this close, but then my sister's husband took our name, and he's like, "Well, I'm not going to do it after him."
That is a safari of things I don't want to get into.
Yeah.
The so other children.
Yes. So we have Lincoln.
Okay.
Lincoln. He's at Grand Valley. And
He's a tall drink of water too.
He's about 6'4". I think he's
Wow.
grown. He might be taller. I don't know. But
Oh my
he's
goodness.
so cute. He's so adorable. And he's doing great things. He wants to be a diplomat one day.
Yeah.
So I know he's spoken with you about DC.
Yeah.
And
Had a
he's-
great talk with him. I got to tell
Yeah.
you, he is sharp. If the future is made up of Lincoln days or Lincoln
White
Whites,
Day.
Lincoln White days,
Yep.
we're in good shape.
Yes. I thank you.
Yeah.
I think so too. He just started a club. I don't know if you saw this. Diplomacy 101.
I did see this. I want to know more.
I am so proud of him. He has identified that
He's going to Grand Valley, right?
Grand Valley.
Okay.
Yep. He's identified that his generation just doesn't possess a lot of soft skills. And I heard that one of the gentlemen from LMC was
Yes.
just talking about this.
Yeah, Dave
and,
Kruger. Yeah.
Yeah, and Lincoln had just started this at Grand Valley. So it's a club, it's not a class. So kids voluntarily go and they hear from other kids, but also they hear from professionals in the community, professors, and they're coming in and they're talking about certain topics. And so from down to how to shake a hand, how to make eye contact,
Nice.
how to introduce yourself, how to, when you're in a huge room of strangers, don't sit at a table by yourself, go talk to people.
Yeah.
Introduce yourself, get to know people, and that expands your networking. And so he's doing this. And
Wow.
I'm so proud of him.
That's
Yeah.
really
It's
cool.
one of the many things he's doing. Yeah.
So he's not only doing it, he started a club to help others do it.
Yes. Yes.
That's really so. Does
exactly.
he have people signed up?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
He had his first meeting a week before last, I think, and he had quite a few people sign up and more coming. And our youngest daughter, she created the flyers for him, she did a really good job. She used Canva. I'm like, hey, you did a really good job. I think I might need your help.
We could use you at the station.
We could use you.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And so you've got. I'm sorry. The name of your first child is
Aubrey,
and then Lincoln, and then
Lorelei.
Lorelei.
Lorelei's a sophomore at St. Joe High.
Okay.
And she plays volleyball.
All right.
And she's awesome. She just had her first tournament. She plays club volleyball.
Oh.
And her whole team did a really good job.
Okay.
They did 2-1 over the weekend, and I'm just so super proud of her. She's a smarty pants.
Yeah.
But she's also one of those. She's smart aleck. But she's got such a great personality. She has my humor dialed in.
Yeah.
She cracks me up. She's so funny. I think she's awesome. But I love her personality.
Yeah.
She's smart. She's in the AP classes. She's working really, really hard. She tells me that a push. So AP US History. So shout out to her teacher,
Okay.
Mr. Hayden. It's a tough class. It's a really
Oh.
tough class. She's working really, really hard,
Okay.
but she really enjoys it. at the
That's
same time.
great. Okay.
Yeah.
We're talking with Lorraine Day White, Mrs. White, if you know her personally. It's the WSJM morning show. We've got the Bloomberg Market Minute on the air right now. We'll come back and we'll do ABC News. We've got the latest from the ABC for world and national news. And then also, let's see, we'll do that. Oh, I've got to do that. Sorry, this is the behind the scenes where I get to move stuff around so that it all fits. Okay. And so we've got the Bloomberg Market Minute. That is happening right now. Then we're going to go to ABC after a quick look at the weather forecast. Thanks for joining us. It's the WSJM Morning Show.
A new car, get ready to pay up. Edmunds says that in last year's fourth quarter, almost 1 in 5 new vehicle buyers took on loans with monthly payments of $1,000 or more. That's a record high. Stocks rose again yesterday. A rally in big tech helped, and there was also a batch of earnings. President Donald Trump will address the World Economic Forum at Davos today, appearing remotely. Futures are mixed this morning. Gina Cervetti, Bloomberg Radio.
The Morning Show with Ken and Friends on 94.9 WSJM.
Morning show continues at 7:32. Good morning and welcome to the Thursday edition of the WSJM Morning Show with Ken and Friends. I'm Ken Lundberg, and here my guest this morning is Lorraine Day. She's with Midwest Family Marketing and Media. And again, continuing our commitment to bring visibility to the people who make this operation work.
Good morning.
Yeah, I'm keeping my resolution for 2020. Do you make New Year's resolutions, Lorraine?
Sometimes.
Yeah, I rarely do.
Yeah.
I made work resolutions this year, and one of them is to bring visibility to more of the people who make this fine operation work.
I think that's so smart.
Well,
Yeah.
I'm a smart guy.
You're a smart guy.
I'm
Getting it
humble
done.
too. I'm very humble, very modest. It's 7:33, and we will have the news from our WSJM newsroom in just a moment. Let's check and see what the latest is from our ABC friends. The forecast for today, by the way, just quickly, we're going to get more snow, up to one somewhere between 1 and 3 inches. Today, the high is probably going to be right where it's at right now, around 25 degrees. Here in Benton Harbor, we have 25. St. Joseph is at 26 degrees now. Same in South Haven, 26 degrees and snowing. Dowagiac, it's 20. It feels like it's probably in the lower to mid-teens, so prepare for that. And be careful on the roadways because we do have snow covering some ice. We're at the temperature. The good news is we're at the temperature where the stuff works that they put on the roads.
Yes.
Finally.
Mm-hmm.
But it's going to take some time.
Yeah.
It's going to take some
We've got
time.
a lot to go through.
We've got a lot of ice to get through. So be careful on the roadways. News coming up next.
ABC News, I'm Dave Packer. New wildfires in Southern California. More than 50,000 people forced to flee or are under evacuation warnings. The Hughes fire burning north of Los Angeles, and a fire breaking out along the 405 freeway near the Getty Center, forcing evacuations in Bel Air, and that fire is now out. Extreme weather along the Gulf Coast. 10 inches of snow fell in New Orleans, setting a new record. Temperatures below freezing this morning from the Big Easy to Tallahassee, Florida.
The Arctic air causing problems in the north, too. Ice jams in the Allegheny River, the most in 5 years, prompting flood concerns in Pittsburgh.
You ever seen cars covered in ice like that?
Not like that, have you?
In Dearborn, Michigan, a water main break coating everything in ice.
ABC's Andrew Dimbert. The Kremlin reacting after President Trump threatened more sanctions for Russia unless it agrees to a peace deal for Ukraine. A Russian spokesman saying the sanctions threat, we don't see any new elements here, end quote. This is ABC News.
WSJM News Now. Team coverage from the WSJM Newsroom on News Talk Sports 94.9 WSJM.
26 degrees now in Benton Harbor and snowfall, and we're still under a winter weather advisory today. We're going to get winter-like conditions. That means snow. That means cold temperatures. That means wind. The gusts up to 20, 25 miles per hour. Feels like 18 degrees out there right now, and that's pretty much the case all over Southwest Michigan. Some of the news that we're following in the WSJM newsroom, what we'll be reporting to you at 8 o'clock this morning. As we've seen over the last few days, car crashes can climb quickly during cold snaps. The Michigan Department of Transportation released some figures they just compiled about what happened in 2023 this time of year. They say there were 30,876 crashes in Michigan, and 59 of those, unfortunately, involve fatalities. Yeah, so you just really have to slow down. I mean, we saw it Monday. We saw it Tuesday. We saw it yesterday. I-94, just a flippin' mess because people going too fast for conditions.
Yeah, avoid if you can.
Yeah, and drive slower. Drive slower. I did talk with Andrew Green from our newsroom yesterday, and he said he had taken 94 yesterday for the first time this week, and he said it was fine.
It was fine.
It was fine.
Andrew.
It was fine. He's very, very low key. Some of the news that we're following in the WSJM newsroom. Also, in addition to that, South Haven city officials are moving to help push forward a senior housing development project. At their regular meeting this week, council approving a resolution which actually transfers the jurisdiction of a development that's planned at the intersection of M140 and Blue Star Highway, transfers it from the city of South Haven zone to the South Haven Township. They say, yeah, the zoning change, it may seem simple in paper, but it's going to help build that senior housing complex a lot quicker.
Wow.
Yeah, just because some of the rules and things that they have to go through in master planning that's bunging things up. So that is happening up in the South Haven area. And then also Southwestern Michigan College has done a new study and released it to us, talking about the value of higher education as far as an institution in a community. We know what it is for ourselves.
Right.
We know what it is to help us achieve our goals, career-wise and otherwise. But they said just having SMC in Cass County benefits that county alone, they say, according to this study, $58.4 million a year.
I mean, that makes sense.
Yeah.
And people are spending their money. Their kids are living there. Parents are coming to visit them. There's activities.
And the productivity that it drives with local employers, bringing people from SMC into their workplaces.
Absolutely.
Yeah. So we'll talk about that and more. It's coming up at 8 o'clock this morning right here on the WSJM Morning Show. We're continuing our interview with Lorraine Day. She's with Midwest Family Marketing and Media. We'll talk to her a little bit more about some of the rules that she has set down for social media and her kids. Do they all follow the rules?
Under our roof, yes.
Okay. While they're in the house, they do.
Yes, they do.
All right. So we'll talk about that in just a moment right here on the WSJM Morning Show. We'll have a look at sports from Dave Wolf. That's coming up right after a look at state news.
The Michigan News Network.
Kids are going crazy these days. Can you imagine how much social media activity were you involved in when you were a kid?
I mean,
it wasn't there.
Even around.
It wasn't
a
there.
thing. No, we went outside and played.
Yeah.
And we made potions in the woods just to do something.
Well, one of my kids the other day, I've been nursing, as you know, I've been nursing the arthritis issue in my toe.
Yeah.
And so I've been a little bit more sedentary than I like to be normally. And so I was downstairs, I was playing a video game or something like that. And one of my sons said, "Hey, what are you doing?" I said, "Oh, I'm playing a video game." "What level are you on?" Like 138 or something like that." "Dad, touch some grass."
Put it down.
Put it
Get some
down.
fresh
Walk
air.
away. I was very encouraged to hear that from one of my
They
kids.
actually listen.
Well, and this, it was Samuel, by the way, and Samuel also is one of the worst offenders when it comes to social media, because he can sit there and be a screenager until we just like rip the thing out of his hands. Him
It's
kicking and
easy.
screaming. What do you have as a parent? Because you have 3 kids.
Yes.
How many are still under your roof?
Full time, just one.
Okay, just one now.
Yeah, Lincoln's at school.
That's a change.
I know, it's so weird.
When they're under your roof, what are the rules for social media and kids?
Well, it goes beyond that actually.
Okay.
So I think we were the last parents to hold out on Snapchat. So we let Lorelai get Snapchat this year.
Okay.
For her birthday, her 16th birthday.
You gave her an app that's free for her birthday?
Yeah.
Wow.
Well, I mean, there's so much gross stuff in the world, and our kids have access to so much, and other people have access to our kids through these platforms. And I have to credit my husband, because he was the one that I grew up with so many rules, and now I'm like, who needs rules? And he's like, we need rules. And so he's developed a lot of really, really good rules for the kids. So one of them is, you don't need social media. You don't need the distraction. You're in AP classes. Pay attention to that. Practice your sport if you want something to do. You could do chores around the house. Who wants to do that, right? But so after school every day, there's no TV. Monday through Friday.
No TV.
Monday through Thursday, I'm sorry.
Okay.
On Friday, that's the weekend, they can have TV in the evenings for an hour.
Wow.
And unless we want to watch something, you can watch something with us.
Then it's a together thing.
It's a together thing.
Yeah, that's good.
Right. But you're not going to sit on the TV. You're not going to play video games. You're not going to be on your phone. They're not allowed to have their phones in their bedrooms.
Nice.
They can't sleep with their phone. That has to be charging in another room.
Wow.
My son taught me something just the other day. He's like, one of his friends taught him to go into the settings, and you can change the color. So from vibrant color to monochromatic. So it's just black and white. And he's like, it's so much less dopamine hitting your brain, and it just becomes a tool at that point. I don't want to sit on it. I don't want to watch videos. I don't want to scroll social media.
Wow.
I don't want to do those things because it's boring at that point.
Huh.
And I was like, what a great idea. And so I did it, and I lasted a whole day. One whole day. I was like, oh my gosh, this is terrible.
That's incredible. So just turning it from what it is right now, which is every color under the sun, to black and white, make that big a difference.
It doesn't, you don't think it's going to make a huge difference, but it does. It's
I can see that.
Kind of boring.
Wow.
Yeah. So we let Lorelai have Snapchat for a couple of reasons. Not because all of her friends were on it, but because her teams were on it, her teammates. And so her teams were communicating like over Snap. It's like, okay, well, you're out of the loop.
And for those who don't know or use Snapchat is basically an instant messenger, but you can do all kinds of photo things,
filters and fun things on it. But
I think that's the one that probably has the most photo filters. And I drive my kids crazy because I do like the Batman. I do, but
it's fun.
It's fun, but you're right. It's wide open.
It's wide open.
And so there are a lot of gross people out there doing bad things, and you got to protect your kids.
Well, and she tells me, and I'm really proud of her, that she's the voice of reason for some of her friends who will be hit up on Snap and other platforms by people who say that they are teenagers at other schools, but you never know. And they found out that at least one was a grown man.
You're kidding.
Mm-mm. And she's like, you don't know
they report him?
who's talking to you.
Did they report him to somebody?
I'd have to ask that girl's parents. I'm not sure.
Okay.
Yeah, but it's
that's scary.
It's a
it can
scary
happen.
world. You just don't know.
Let's see. I've got to do an ad, so hang on just a second. And we'll come back to this in just a moment. Yeah, absolutely. She's with the business development team. And that's why. It's 7:43. It's the WSJM morning show. Back in just a moment.
From the Michigan Lottery, knowing your limit is always the best bet.
Hey, it's Ken Lundberg with the WSJM morning show. As you might have heard, I've recently had the opportunity to meet with the medical experts from Professional Hearing Services in St. Joseph and learn a lot about the services they provide. Lorraine made that happen.
Yes.
You made that happen,
Julie
by the way.
and her crew are amazing people.
They are.
They are.
They really are.
People.
They can check your hearing. They can safely and comfortably clean your ears, which they did for me, which was really gross. because
that was so cool. I was there.
It was cool. It was cool because they were able to reach in and get a goop of wax out, and that's normal. It's perfectly normal, but it was still gross.
And it didn't hurt.
It didn't hurt at all. No, absolutely not. They have a special device just for that. And if
water device.
It's got warm water, so you're not wincing, you're not doing anything. So they cleaned my ears. I need to go back and do that again. And they can give you a hearing test. I did all of that to experience what it was like. We talked through the results of my hearing test, where my baseline is for hearing, and what I might expect as I continue to season. By the way, my hearing test was really good.
Really?
And
Awesome.
yeah, there was just one little area on one of the ears that was a problem, but everything else was great. I use that to this day with my children, saying, I have perfectly fine hearing. You are mumbling.
Or it's selective hearing.
Yeah, it could be that, selective hearing. It was a great experience. They're incredibly friendly and knowledgeable at Professional Hearing Services in St. Joseph. Most people hear Professional Hearing Services and they think about hearing devices. Yes, they have those. They have really cool ones, even the ones that automatically silence if you're like at the shooting range or something like that. It's so for law enforcement. So cool. They have those hearing devices and the professional staff to support those devices. They invite you to call to schedule a free hearing test screening today. Don't compromise. Start with Professional Hearing Services in St. Joseph. They carry quality, state-of-the-art medical devices that will have a positive impact on your relationships, your career, and your life. That's Professional Hearing Services in St. Joseph.
It's time to prioritize your business's data security.
Yeah, you want to do it right now?
If there's time.
There'll be time in a second on the air, so let's do that. Lorraine's got stories. I encourage storytelling. Anyone who ever comes on the show, please bring your stories. They're fascinating. They're entertaining. Don't hold back.
Oh, our brains are wired to listen to stories.
Yeah, they are.
Yeah.
They are, and that's why people like the TikToks and stuff like that.
It's stories.
It's just stories. They're sharing stories in a very efficient way. All right. Back in just a moment on the WSJM Morning Show.
With off and on snow showers. Most of the time, the snow will be light. We're still looking at 1 to 3 inches of accumulation under those snow bands today. Afternoon temperatures around 25. We drop down to 7 tonight, still with some light flurries and some snow. And then tomorrow, partly sunny with high temperatures only at 20. I'm Chief Meteorologist Carrie Peugeot.
The Morning Show with Ken and Friends on 94.9 WSJM.
It's the WSJM Morning Show, 7:46, 14 minutes before 8 o'clock. And I'm Ken Lundberg. It's Thursday, January 23rd. My special guest in studio this morning is Midwest Family Marketing and Media's business development expert guru, like the top person in the corral.
I prefer Goddess.
Goddess. Okay, yeah. Goddess is fine. Lorraine Day White.
Good morning.
Lorraine, thanks for joining us this morning. And we really appreciate you sharing the stories and the insights. We talked a little bit about your background. We talked about the 3 beautiful children you and Robert have. And now you want to share another story because we were just talking about Professional Hearing Services.
Yes.
You want to?
So yeah, Julie and her crew, Julie Dunsing and her crew have amazing doctors. I've just been so impressed with their care and just how they treat people. It's a beautiful facility.
Yeah.
And they're just so kind and warm. It's not what you expect at all.
It wasn't.
Not
no.
at all. And my dad has been struggling with hearing for years and years. And when he was in the ministry, his insurance would pay for hearing aids or hearing devices. And so he had that through Indiana. But since he's retired, he doesn't have the same level of care through Medicare and all that business. So I have been working on him for years to come in to Professional Hearing Services. He finally appeased me. He's like, I'm not going to have money until I get my tax refund. I was like, Dad, let's just get a free baseline and see what you need.
Yeah.
Because it's free.
Yeah.
Why not? Go get it. So I bribed them. I said, come, and then I'll take you out to dinner. And they said, okay. So Mom and Dad came in and he has significant hearing loss, which we knew because he was just struggling. For example, before we went there, I had taken them out to the Buck in downtown St. Joe, the whole family, Mom and Dad, everybody. And we're having dinner and Dad was sitting against a wall, not looking at any of us. And I waved. I was like, Dad, can you hear us?
Yeah.
And he's like, not at all. And I almost cried.
Oh
like
my
I literally
gosh.
almost cried because he looked so dejected and just alone, but he wasn't alone. He's with his whole family.
Yeah.
And so I was like, you're going. So he went to Professional Hearing Services. They did the test. He had an amazing experience. They worked out a payment plan for him.
Wow.
He has the cool devices. He can turn my mom off. He can mute her when she gets annoying. he can stream his
That's
shows
funny.
while she watches her show, so he's not bothering her with the TV up. He can stream right into his hearing device.
Yeah.
It's
like another set of
amazing.
headphones.
Yeah,
in
and
that
he's got an
respect.
app on his phone, so when he
Yeah.
hops in the car, he can stream that way. He can
Cool.
he can adjust it so that when he's at a restaurant, he can tune in and hear.
Yeah.
And it is incredible. Like, and you can't see them.
Yeah.
You can't see the
You
devices.
can't. I know you
no,
can't.
they're in, and it's a little teeny tiny device that you
Mhm.
cannot see.
Yeah.
And not that he was worried about that, but some people are.
Sure.
They want to look nice, and I
Yeah.
get that. I do too.
Do you know how many years it was that he refused to seek treatment for that?
Oh my gosh.
Because one of the things that research points that we looked at for professional hearing service, and by the way, this is not a pre-planned commercial. We're just
No,
telling
we're
stories
just
because we're just sharing information. And one of the research points was people typically go 7 years before seeking help with a hearing issue.
Well, he thought he could just go buy a device off the shelf, and that's not dialed. You can't just go buy
No.
your prescription
It's like
glasses
putting
off the shelf.
No, it's like putting a megaphone in your ear.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And it wasn't working. It would pick up certain frequencies, but not others. And
Yeah.
he needed specific frequencies. So with these devices, they're tuned into what he needs.
Yeah.
So he can hear, not perfect, but he can hear.
Yeah.
He can hear my mom.
Yeah.
He can hear me. He can hear us when we're out. It's amazing. So he went years, and it was frustrating for him, but it's really scary about the cognitive decline. There's so much research showing that people experience cognitive decline when they can't hear.
Yes.
Our brains are wired for audio.
Yeah.
So it's amazing. I won't say he's a whole different person, but because he still gets in trouble every day. He's always in trouble.
What's he get in trouble for?
Oh my gosh, he's got the worst jokes, and he's naughty, and he's
Oh,
playing
man.
pranks on people, and
You should probably bring him in here. That'd be fun.
he would love that. He used to do a radio show when he was in the ministry.
Really?
Oh yeah, he would do a show every week, and he would do his sermon and chat with the producer.
Was it fun?
Yeah.
Okay.
He loved it.
So it wasn't fun.
Well, I was a teenager and I thought he was boring because he was old, right? But now I think it's really cool that he did that.
That is really cool. Well, thank you for sharing that story.
Yeah.
Thank you for sharing that story. And let's do the Moody on the Market update right now.
Okay.
This is what we do right now. It's the Moody on the Market update. It's brought to you by Insurance Management Service. You can call IMS today because they are your local auto owners insurance agency in St. Joseph and in Niles. And in our Moody on the Market updates, we bring you 3 different things. We bring you business updates, we bring you life in Southwest Michigan and why we love it here, and we bring you interesting people you should know. And we already brought you someone interesting you should know, Lorraine Day from Midwest Family Marketing and Media. But the story that I want to bring you today, this one makes me hungry every time I see it. This is Hot and Now. Did you ever go to Hot and Now?
No.
It's a Michigan hamburger joint, and it almost went extinct. There was like one left. There is one left. It's in Sturgis, but this popular fast food chain based in Michigan is making a comeback. Holt-based Hot and Now had more than 150 locations at its peak after opening back in 1984. The chain declined in the 2000s and now has only one location. It's in Sturgis. But now Gun Lake Investments, that group, has announced that it has acquired Hot and Now brand and will open 2 new locations this year, one near the Gun Lake Casino in Wayland, and then one in Alpena. And the company has plans to follow up with more in the coming years. Some will remember that Hot and Now did operate a Benton Harbor location on Napier Avenue that closed back in the 2000s.
I don't even remember that.
I was talking to Andrew Green about it, WSJM's Andrew Green, and I thought when I saw this story and he wrote it, I said, you probably have traveled. You have driven specifically to get a Hot and Now burger. And he said, yeah. He said he drove. I don't think he'll mind me sharing. He decided one day just to see the sights and drive 12 all the way from here to Detroit.
Oh.
He said it took him like 5 or 6 hours.
Wow.
It took a long time.
Wow.
But it took him through a lot of areas that he would never otherwise see.
Yeah.
Including
fun.
Sturgis and the Hot and Now. And he stopped there and got a burger.
Oh my God.
And he loved it, and he was so excited to share this story that they're now trying to revive the whole chain. We'll see. I want to see if they'll bring one back here. That'd be fun.
Yeah.
And vegetarian options.
Right.
All right. That's our Moody on the Market update for today. The Moody on the Market update is brought to you by Insurance Management Service. Call IMS today, your local auto owners insurance agency in St. Joseph and in Niles. The WSJM morning show continues. We'll have more with our guest. We'll wrap that up in just a couple of minutes right here on WSJM.
Rich Brand and Tara Halsey from Insurance Management Service, your local auto owner's insurance agency in St. Joseph and Niles, know it means something to have peace of mind knowing your insurance is taken care of.
I want to just tell my clients thank you. That's why I come to work every day, establishing those relationships and feeling like I'm an important part of their business. They're counting on me to make sure that this asset of theirs is covered properly. And if something goes wrong, they've got peace of mind of knowing it's going to be taken care of.
Tarek and I, we love going to work every day. There's Sunday afternoons. It's like, man, I'm glad that Monday morning's only a couple of hours away. I can't wait to get back to work. And we enjoy the people that we work with in our office, and we enjoy the clients that we work with each and every day. We get excited every day about doing insurance in Berrien County in Southwest Michigan.
IMS, an auto owner's insurance agency in St. Joseph and in Niles.
We're watching over you. IMS Insurance Management Service.
IMS is proud to partner with Auto Owners Insurance.
The Morning Show with Ken and Friends on 94.9 WSJM.
7:55, just 5 minutes away from news from ABC at 8 o'clock this morning, the latest world and national news. I'm Ken Lundberg. It's the WSJM Morning Show. We appreciate you listening. And my guest this morning, my special guest, is Lorraine Day. And it's part of my commitment to bring people who make this operation work to the forefront here on the radio and on the video live stream. So you know them, they know you. Conversation starts. One of the things that you were asking about just a moment ago was Insurance Management Service, because they are the sponsor of our Moody on the Market update on a daily basis. You have a story.
I do have a story. So I've worked with IMS for, 2 or 3 years now as their rep for advertising. And they are just awesome people. Well, it came to be that I was shopping for insurance and I was like, you know what? I'm just going to have you guys check it. And oh my gosh, they saved me so much money. It was like over $1,000 a year.
You're kidding.
And I have better insurance. I have better coverage. I also added life insurance, which I already had some, but I added some more.
Right.
I'm just blown away. They were easy to work with. They did everything. I just gave them my declaration pages for my current insurance, sent it over, and they did everything for me. I sent them pictures of my house. They covered that. We talked about my cars, and everything's handled. It was fast. It was easy. They had all kinds of payment options, and you get even more of a discount if you pay in full up front. It's like a big discount. So I couldn't believe it. I was so happy with they sell auto owners, and I was just really, really happy. Very impressed.
We're gonna use that for a commercial.
Yeah, I think we should.
But what made you decide to shop around?
Well, the increases. So the increase on the auto insurance had gone crazy, and of course I have teen drivers, so it hurts. It hurts so much to have teen drivers on your insurance.
It does.
But then the house insurance was creeping up too, and it's like, oh my gosh, I have to see what else I can do here. And they made it work for me. They did an incredible job. It was fast, easy, and I have better coverage, and I save money, and that makes me so happy.
I love that. All right. So a personal testimonial from Lorraine Day for Insurance Management Service. Call Insurance Management Service. They call IMS today, your local auto owner's insurance agency in St. Joseph and Niles. And Lorraine asked me, honestly, that wasn't scripted as well. Lorraine asked me, could I tell a story about them? Because they're saving you $1,000 a year.
A year. That's a big deal.
That is a huge deal, especially now that we can't find eggs anymore. Do you have
right.
Do you do grocery shopping?
My husband does the grocery shopping and most of the cooking.
Does he gripe about the eggs?
He's not a complainer, really, but I gripe about it.
It's getting increasingly difficult to find eggs, to get eggs at a reasonable price, and we're seeing some of the impact of bird flu. We're also seeing some of the impact of the cage-free thing. I didn't know until our news story earlier this week that when they're in a cage-free environment, sometimes the eggs they land not in the nest.
Oh, yeah.
And so you got more loss there.
Oh, no, I didn't realize that either.
Yeah, so that's driving the price up too. I don't know. Yeah. Anyway, what are you gonna do?
I know.
What are you gonna do? What else do we need to talk about? Anything else?
Gosh, I don't know.
On a day-to-day, we've got about a minute before we have to go. What do you want people to know about what you do, and what do you want people to know about Midwest Family Marketing and Media.
We're here to serve. We're here to serve our communities. If you're a nonprofit, reach out to us. We have a lot of free opportunities for nonprofits and paid opportunities to help you, and you get a lot of bonuses. But we're here to help companies of every size, small, medium, large, local, regional, national. We work with everybody. We can help you not only with radio, but with digital and with social. We do a lot.
Yeah.
We really, it's a holistic approach to what your business needs. Not only are we helping you with advertising, but we can help you. We are consultants.
Yeah.
We run businesses, we own businesses, and we know how to help you with yours.
Yeah, no, well said. And what I like most about what we do is how you started the interview. We're in the business to drive audiences to businesses so they can procure your services and products.
That's what we do.
Yeah.
We are the megaphone. You want word of mouth? Talk to us. We do it by 40,000 people at a time. Just talk to us.
I love it. Well, thanks for joining us this morning, Lorraine. Come back anytime.
Okay.
And feel free to suggest guests as well.
Okay, I will.
All right.
Thanks for having me.
You bet. It's just about 8 o'clock. We've got ABC News now, our local news next. We'll talk about the weather forecast. We'll get sports. It is 8 o'clock. It's WSJM.
From ABC News, I'm Dave Packer. Fire is.
All right, for those of you on the video live stream, hope you enjoyed that. I mean, to me, it's a unique perspective to get people from behind the scenes here who are out on the front lines every day helping make it all happen. So thank you, Lorraine. We appreciate you. Any parting words, any parting advice for folks?
Well,
Take away the social media. Got that.
take away this. Oh yeah, from your kids. Yes.
Take away the social media
Or
from
at
your
least
kids.
Monitor their text messages too. You can learn a lot what they're talking to their friends
I
about.
feel like that's such an invasion of privacy. You do that?
Oh, well, who's paying for the phone?
Well, that's true.
I figure it's my phone. I pay for
She
it.
said in the most mom way possible. Well, who's paying for the phone?
Did I have my neck going? I was like, I pay for it.
And if you ever need help selling a product or getting employees, I love that you help drive employees to people.
All the time. Talking to a manufacturer in Niles right now about
Really?
that. Mm-hmm.
That's good.
Yep.
Okay. I'll ask you about that for Moody on the Market.
Okay.
All right. Thanks again for joining us, and we'll be on the video live stream tomorrow. Tomorrow's Friday. We always have a lot of fun on Fridays, so tune in for that. We thank you, and we'll talk to you tomorrow.